So how do you go about writing lyrics when you're a complete beginner and have never written a song before? Or maybe you have written some songs, but you've just not really been happy with your lyrics, or you want to take your lyrics to the next level, or just be able to write amazing lyrics faster. This video is for you, and we're going to walk through how to write amazing lyrics in 5 simple steps. So be sure to watch all the way through. I'm not only going to kind of teach how to write lyrics, but then I'm going to actually go and write lyrics for a song that I'm working on as part of my Saddest Studio Ever series, where I'm walking through how to go about creating a song from scratch, knowing nothing, not how to play an instrument, no music theory, no nothing, not a great studio environment, and writing and producing a, professional quality song and releasing it. So this is a part of a whole long series, and this part is all about writing lyrics. So this will be very in-depth, so I hope you get a lot of value from this. Before I move into the first tip, I just want to share with you my free gift, which is my rapid song finishing cheat sheet. You can grab it in the description below, or go to orpheusaudioacademy.com/mixing checklist, and this walks you through a proven step-by-step system for finishing your mixes so that they sound pro quality each and every time, and you don't find yourself mixing in circles. Also includes some really handy compression and EQ cheat sheets in there, so that you never have to wonder what to do when you're going about mixing your tracks. So this is completely free. Grab it in the description below. All right. So how to write lyrics in 5 steps, the complete beginner's guide. Step 1, you need a memorable title or concept for your song. So some examples would be like Purple Rain or Don't Stop Believin', right? Those are both very memorable, visceral, universal name, or at least Don't Stop Believing. Purple Rain is just very, unique, right? Because obviously rain is not purple, unless you're from like a different planet or something. That kind of like sticks out in your mind, just that unique name. And that Don't Stop Believin', right? That's kind of a good universal concept that can fit in a lot of different places, which is why you hear that song played at like sporting events and all over the place. And you want to use potentially emotionally charged words. For example, the song Somebody that I used to know, right? For those of you who have gone through breakups, that is something that would really like stand out to you immediately. If you can, keep it short and snappy. 1 to 5 words usually works best. Shorter titles are easier to remember, so the shorter the better. If you can keep your title to like really 1 to 3 words would probably be best. For example, Blinding Lights, simple, vivid, intriguing. And then you might try to summarize the song's theme in 3 words or less with your title. And then you want to use contrast or unexpected combinations as well, as that can be helpful. So for example, like Bittersweet Symphony. So that could be one strategy, is just try to pick 2 contrasting words, for example, Beautiful Chaos, and see if it fits your theme of your song, the concept that your song's about. So then, continuing along these lines, try playing with metaphors or wordplay. For example, Boulevard of Broken Dreams. So it's a metaphor and also has some like alliteration in there with Boulevard Broken. And then describe your song's meaning without using literal words if possible. So instead of saying like this is a sad breakup, unless, right, that can be funny if that's like you're like a punk rock band and you're trying to be like funny or goofy with your lyrics, like that can be funny, just being like super literal right on the nose, right? But instead, right, maybe you would try something like Frozen Roses, right? Maybe there's some connection to roses with the relationship or something, and obviously Frozen it's turned cold. So borrow, also you can try borrowing from common phrases or pop culture. For example, espresso by Sabrina Carpenter, right? Because that's a very common drink. Think of a well-known phrase and tweak it. Make it visual or evocative. So Strawberry Fields Forever by the Beatles. It's dreaming and nostalgic sounding. And think of a place, object, or scene that represents your song's mood is another idea. And probably I should back up and just talk about, right, why this is important, kind of starting with the end in mind, because a lot of times we'll write songs and try to think of a title later, but I think it's really powerful, and you can do it that way. There's no right or wrong way to go about writing a song. This is just one framework, just one system you can follow to produce a predictable, good quality result. And so by starting with this great memorable title or concept, I feel like that will have a trickle-down effect and allow you to create a really great song to fit that cool title, cool concept. And that's right, the overall packaging. I think this can just really help for you to create the whole song like down the line. All right, step 2 is mind dump. So write down everything that comes to mind when you think of your particular theme or song title. This can be isolated words, or maybe this even turns into a journal entry Get it all out. Don't restrict yourself. So give yourself, 10 minutes max, right? You don't want to extend on too long. And then just write down everything you can think of. For example, the theme could be courage in the face of overwhelming odds. So then write down everything that you think of, right? Maybe you think of the Tiananmen Square photo, or a night standing alone surrounded by monsters or something. Whatever comes to your mind, right? So then step 3 is, after we've got kind of the milieu that's surrounding the song, what words are we going to use potentially in the actual lyrics? So we're not writing lyrics, we're just coming up with words we might want to use. So words are placeholders for ideas. So take those phrases, photos, or ideas and try to fit words to them from step 2. So not constructing sentences or lyrics here yet, just creating a list of words you might use. Most of these might even throw out. So keep in mind also your brand, the brand with as your artist. So are you a more literal or impressionistic? Again, kind of like I talked about, like if you're more, goofy, on the nose, like punk rock band or something, or are you more like ambient, mysterious kind of sounding, that's going to shape your lyrics, right? Like Lord Huron, they have a lot of grand, epic kind of lyrics and song concepts and image with their artwork and all that stuff. Because you want to try to stay on brand as well with your lyrics. So example would be a song about maybe being stranded on the moon. And so create a list of terms that have to do with the moon and space, loneliness, being lost, etc. would be like where you might start. And then step 4 is to take these words and now you're going to tell a story. So create a story outline that fits with your song sections. So for example, I wrote a song in part 4 of this series. This is part 5. And I created a verse, pre-chorus, chorus, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, bridge, chorus. So now I want to tell a story that fits with those sections. So list what the message will be in each section of your song. List what the message will be in each section of your song. Make these build on each other to tell a story to better engage and impact your listeners, right? You got to have that story in there. So here's an example of different stories you can have. You can have a tension/response type of story. So the verse 1 could be how the tension is sensed. The chorus 1 could be the response. Verse 2 is how the response is sensed. Chorus 2, again, is the response because the chorus is repeat. The bridge is how you feel about the response. And then finally, you have the response again. So your verse progresses the story and your chorus repeats the central idea. Now, step 5 is to then just go ahead and write your lyrics. So you have your song story structure and a list of words that you can use as the building blocks of your lyrics. So now you just want to go and write those lyrics. I find it helpful to have the music done first and an idea of the melody in my head that I can use to fit the lyrics to, because that's more important than anything is melody. So don't put too much pressure on yourself. Plan on writing a lot of songs so the importance of any one song is diminished, and thus so is the pressure. So don't put a lot of pressure on yourself. And also, writing lyrics can feel overwhelming, right? Right, those are 5 steps I just went through, and other people might have different systems. If you don't have any steps, right, it can really feel overwhelming. So writing lyrics is kind of like building a house. I've found as you have to apply multiple layers that build on the previous layer. For example, they're building like 5 different houses on my street right now, and so they're building one right across the street. They just cleared out the lot right across the street from us, which is really sad because we used to have nice. Right, first what they'll do is they'll clear out the lot, then they'll come in and dump huge piles of dirt. Because we live in Florida and in the swamp, so you got to raise the house up so it doesn't get flooded. So then they have to come in and bulldoze the dirt to make a flat surface, and they lay the foundation and the walls and then the roof and everything. So you're building on one layer at a time. It's kind of what it's like with writing songs. You got to come up with the concept. You got to come up with the narrative or the arc. You got to have the word selection, the arrangement, maybe rhyme. All this stuff goes into writing a song. But what if you can knock out 75% of these steps in just seconds? All you have to really do yourself is kind of handle the arrangement and rhyme, really, kind of. I'm going to share with you how to do that in this video in a second to make this so much easier and faster. By the way, this lesson is brought to you by my course, Radio Ready Record. This is my complete end-to-end system to go about writing, producing, mixing, and releasing your own music from home, producing pro quality music from home using budget equipment and stock plugins. So if you want a complete end-to-end step-by-step course and system that you can follow so that you know by the end you're going to be producing pro quality music that you're proud of, that stacks up against your favorite songs, then definitely check out this course. Just go to just go to orpheusaudioacademy.com/RRR or click the link in the description below. All right, earlier I talked about how you can eliminate like 75% of the songwriting process and make it a lot faster for you. Well, the key to that is using AI. And I know everyone's probably screaming right now, like, what the heck? That's not real songwriting. I'm not a robot. I'm an artist. Yeah, well, do you still record songs using an 8-track tape machine, or do you use a computer? Technology advances, and if you don't advance with it, you're going to be left behind. So I'm going to show you how to use AI, not to write the lyrics for you, but to help you and guide you and speed up your songwriting so you can write better lyrics faster. So I think one of the hardest parts is just coming up with that concept or the story that you had in mind. Remember, that's the part one, is coming up with an interesting title or concept. So let's just get ideas, because everything we're doing here with AI, with ChatGPT, in this case, you could use Perplexity or any other number of tools. But what we're doing here with this tool is the equivalent of you just sitting back in your chair and just thinking. Right, pretty boring and takes a lot of time, right? Just sitting and brainstorming. So we're using this to help us brainstorm. It can spark ideas to help you. So first, let's do concept. So for example, I'm a synthwave artist. So we kind of just made a synthwave song. So I'm going to say, come up with different song concepts for an upbeat synthwave song. I guess I could have said like lyric concepts, but song concepts should work as well. So it's giving us titles, it's giving us concepts and moods. So neon freeway, racing down an endless highway under neon lit skies. Galactic hearts, two lovers from different star systems find each other in the vast expanse of space. Retrograde dreams, a dream within a dream. Sunset city. So these are a little bit cliche. So I'll say, create more song/lyric concepts that are less cliche and more unique and fresh. Now, that's going to be interesting, because technically AI can't really come up with anything unique or fresh. It's just borrowing from other stuff, but we'll see. Glass realities, a song about living in overlapping versions of yourself, like an alternate timelines reflected in mirrors. Interesting. Now, that's kind of a cool concept. A radio station that only broadcasts when someone dies, ghost stories and analog. The lost memory, spectral echoes, but that doesn't really fit for our song. This is pretty cool too. Infinite undo, Control Z, my heartbeat, lost myself in the repeat. I like that. I don't know if it fits with our lyrics, but I like infinite undo. Candle code, a medieval/futuristic mashup where people encode secrets into candle flames. Theme, forbidden love, secret knowledge. Ooh, it's kind of cool. I might want to see, this is where you might even want to come up with this before you actually write the music, because I might want to do that one, but I would want to add in like more medieval instruments. I'm going to help it a little bit more, come up with some idea, give it a little bit more guidance. So a lost princess, but she eventually breaks free. Avoid cliches. So now let's see what happens with a little bit more detail and direction. Daughter of the eclipse, feathers in the engine. So if this is about a princess too, I might want to have my wife sing this, or I might want to use AI for the vocals too. We'll see. I like heirloom static, glass bone crown. I like a lot of these. Nero veil. Let's see. We'll give it some more direction. I want, and now has it. Okay, well, now it's kind of just writing it. Clues in the static. So it's already come up with words for us. I wore the colors, but they never fit. Smiles like glass, I'd mimic it. Laughed when I should, stayed in line, but something in me glitched with time. This is really good, actually. It's already kind of writing the lyrics for us. We'll definitely need to tweak them. Look at that, it's already suggesting. Time cop with midnight. Cool, I actually like this. Clues in the static. I like this a lot. What are some alternative song title ideas? So it's really just, we're just brainstorming. We're just using it to help us brainstorm. So is the chorus. Does it even have the title? Clues in the stack. I like to have the chorus repeat in the, or the title repeat in the chorus, because that's good for it being catchy, sticking in the listener's mind. And if they do happen to listen to it somewhere, they might be able to guess the title and find it. So yeah, we don't have the title in the chorus yet. And it's a little bit too wordy. So look at that. You got all these different title ideas. Clue-driven / memory theme titles. Echoes I ignored. Familiar stranger. Familiar stranger. I like that. Again, what we talked about in the beginning of this video was to words that seemingly contrast with each other. I like familiar, stranger. How might the chorus fit this line into it? So there were clues in the static, sparks in the rain, moments that flickered then vanished again. I'll have to say it like that, I guess. A face in the mirror, blurred at the edge. I was a familiar stranger to myself. So we're going to just copy this. Copy these over to our lyric cheat sheet here. So we're kind of already getting in like lyric ideas. Using AI, it kind of like skips a step for you. So that's another advantage to using AI. So if we go back to this, so we want to, what's the story concept about? So again, we talked about just brain dumping everything about this story. So again, we can use AI to help us. So what are some people, places, or things concept of this song? So again, we could just brainstorm all this ourselves, which we probably would want to do. I mean, I kind of already did that when I came up with the title because I already had kind of a concept going with that. Interesting. So DNA helix made of light. So it's like making it more fantasy element of it or sci-fi, that there's like this DNA helix. Runes etched into glass or skin. The true self location. House of Glass, Tower of Silence. Interesting. Yeah, Midnight meets Dune. And this is really fun too for creating entire like concept albums. And you see like you could get a whole album from this easily. This is one song where it's like we can't fit all this. You could like make the whole song into a movie or something. Now we'll say, what are some cool words from these concepts that we could use for potential lyrics? Right, get cool words in here now. Cool, like potential lyrics. Memory core, mirage, residue, echo, cipher, fragment, null space. I like it. Now we'll just go ahead and write the lyrics. Now go ahead and write the lyrics for this song, drawing from these words and concepts. The song has 2 verses, 2 pre-choruses, a bridge, and 3 choruses. I want the narrative to flow like this. And now we're kind of getting into the outlining, right? We got that in the section here. It's the story outline for each section. We got verse, pre-chorus, and so on. So verse 1, a lost, abused young woman growing up. Pre-chorus on some clues that maybe the witch isn't her real family. The chorus can be about her, and all of the clues make sense now. It can be about maybe her resisting the witch, realizing the truth. It can be 2, which is, again, we'll just copy this. So pre-chorus and chorus will be the same. And then the bridge, her life now with the king, finally belonging. All right, so now we'll see what this spits out. Whispers in the halls of glass. She spoke in spells I learned too fast. A porcelain smile. A rule-bound home, but in my bones I felt alone. Mirrors showed a face misfit. A shadow life that didn't quite fit. These are almost perfect lyrics. She called it love, but it felt like chains wrapped in silence, masked in shame. Pre-chorus 1. But I heard the songs in static fields. Strange lullabies the night revealed. Names erased and broken code. A crown inside. A dream I'd knowed. Don't know about that last word. Chorus. Now it all ignites, each thread, each spark. The map was written in my heart, each glyph, every trace I ignored, was the echo of a kingdom I was born for. I've never felt this kind of whole, not in the witch's freezing hold. I see it now, my royal blood, decoded in the light code running through my pulse. So, a little wordy, a little tricky. So now is where we, the human, are going to go in and refine things here. Verse 2. She saw it breaking in my eyes, the shimmering truth beneath the lies. I pushed the veil, I cracked the frame. She struck with fire, but not my name. I ran through ruins she disguised, every wall a whispered sign. She screamed that I belonged to her, but I had seen the light occur. Yeah, obviously, it's close. It's close, but we can tweak it. The glyphs were carved in childhood skies, and lullaby she couldn't hide. I traced the truth through static snow. Each step lit up the path I know. Of course, now it all ignites. I should repeat bridge. And when I saw him, he knew my face, like time had paused and clicked into place. A familiar stranger, flesh and flame. He whispered softly, you are reclaimed. No more pretending, no more disguise. The kingdom's pulse behind my eyes. I've come back home, reborn, aligned. In signal, crown, and blood I shine. So very good. Let me know if you'd like a melody guide, vocal phrasing ideas. So now I'm going to take this and put it into our document, and then I'm going to tweak it myself, rewrite things, try things out, and I'm also going to pull up the actual song so we can look for a melody. So I think we're going to call it the light code, or just light code. All right, it took some time, but I finally finished up the lyrics here for the song, so now we'll look at them. So you can see I kind of left in what the AI had kind of come up with some of these lines, and I just crossed them out because we weren't going to use them. And then I kept a lot of these the same, but I did change up words. I kind of moved things around a little bit and adjust them to make them fit with the melody that I came up with, which you'll see in the next video where I actually go and record vocals with these. So they ended up being verse 1 is plastic smile, a rule bound home, but in my bones I felt alone. She called it love, but I was chained, wrapped in silence, masked in shame. She spoke in spells I learned too late. Then we have the pre-chorus. But I heard songs in static fields, strange lullabies the night revealed. Then chorus. Now it all ignites, every thread and every spark, a brand new heart map written on my heart. Familiar stranger, familiar stranger. Verse 2. She saw it breaking my eyes, a shimmer of truth behind the lies. I pushed the veil, I cracked the frame. She struck with fire, but had no claim. She screamed that I belonged to her, but I had seen the light occur. Then the pre-chorus 2. I think I ended up just repeating pre-chorus 1. Then chorus 2. Now it all ignites, every thread and every spark, a brand new start, map written on my heart. Now it all comes clear, every glyph and every code. Lost princess stole of every gem and all her gold. Familiar stranger, familiar stranger. And the bridge. And when I saw him, he knew my face, like time had paused and clicked in place. No more pretending, no more lies, the kingdom's pulse behind my eyes. The king does says, I've come home. Obviously, poor grammar there, but I had to fit all the proper syllables in. I've come back home, I've come back home. Final chorus, despite what she stole, never felt this kind of whole. My royal blood, never in the witch's mud. Now it all comes clear, every glyph and every code. Lost princess stole of every gem and all her gold. Familiar stranger, familiar stranger. So I think those are decent lyrics, right? Now, if you're just a fantastic lyric writer, right, I'm sure you could probably do much better than this, but if this video, again, was just for beginners. If you're just getting started writing lyrics, or you find yourself struggling to write lyrics, or it just takes you too dang long, then this process can help you write, great lyrics quickly, really speed up the process, because it really helps you get concepts, get ideas for words, and even put together kind of a framework, which you can then dive in and change the words around, swap out words, cut out stuff, kind of partner with AI, not using AI to write the lyrics for you, but partnering with it to help you speed up your process. So hopefully you found this helpful. Now, in the next video in this series, I'm going to walk through how to actually record amazing vocals from home, even if you don't have a great studio. And I'll also show you how to create amazing vocals, even if you're not a good singer yourself. So you'll definitely won't want to miss the next part. It should be available now. So go ahead and click the box on the screen right now to go watch that video.